Afternoon. This is Texas. I went down there to Appalachia this morning on business, and I got so depressed down there looking at the place. So, not long after I get depressed, I often get angry, and I decided to just shoot an impromptu travelogue. My truck suddenly developed problems. I had everything scheduled. I was supposed to be going down 2 days from now to shoot this travelogue, and I decided since I had my mobile phone with me, I'll shoot it right now. And I just strung together a few pieces of the city. It's a good start. I had an excuse to play with my video editing software here a bit, and I'm embarrassed that it's not something I'm very good at. But this morning I was able to master some of the assembly of shots and a few things with transitions and audio. So it's a good start. Consider this a prequel or a preview. I can assure you the first, I'm calling them expeditions. The first expedition will be shot with a lot more production value than this one. But this one I put together this morning. I hope you don't get depressed. But thinking about everything that's happened down there and just walking around, I feel like it get a bit antsy. I'm glad I at least got this one out, and hopefully more to follow. I just got to figure out if my truck's on the verge of suddenly cutting out on me. That's the last thing I need right now. Otherwise, I'm planning on a first episode of Expeditions next week, and the first episode of the actual Vault Code tutorials, which will be about packing rice and oats next week. A good start. So, looking forward to that. I want to tell you while you're here, if you've watched me this far, I'm very grateful to everybody who has subscribed. So grateful. I wouldn't give a guy like me $5 and send him across the street to get some potato chips and a Coca-Cola. I'd expect that he'd get lost on the way back. But those of you who've been funding me quite generously the past couple of weeks, subscriber base has jumped up. And again, putting $80 on a nut like me, that seems to me like it's a big investment of trust. So whatever else happens to me, I hope that I can fulfill the promises that I've made about this show that's coming on and about my Substack site. I'll let you watch the rest of it right now. That's one of the big infrastructure bridges that I've talked about here in Appalachia. It's colossal. Look how far it goes around, about a story off the ground, then back around into the mountain. A lot of hard work went into that stuff. They still got a bank here, Miners Exchange Bank. I don't think they've got more than a few hours they're open, but they still got a drive-through window, which is good. I don't know if I'm going to move my accounts over there or not. They've got a pharmacy here because they've got so many elderly people, so that's good too. And of course, they've got the Walmart of the Appalachians, Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. And that is a big store inside. The reason it's the only store left is you can basically get everything in there, kind of like with Walmart. Yeah. The engine light came on my truck this morning because I haven't had enough difficulties getting moved in here yet, so thank God threw me another one. Found my gas cap off the other day, and I'm wondering if somebody put sugar in my tank up there. I've been complaining about people parking in my parking space up where I live. You go further back in the woods, it gets real beautiful here. For all this talk of the damage coal did to this area, I think all that's imaginary, like everything Hollywood comes up with. Yeah, I think this is some of the most beautiful natural terrain, and of course the industrial processes around coal have gotten better than ever. They're the cleanest in the world. They weren't hurting anything or anybody, but there's a fifth column in the United States. They're here at our elbows. They're sitting beside you, and they hate the people out here. You wonder why would you hate people you'll never meet? Why would you hate people for being Christians who live out here in the rural areas? I mean, what do you got against them? Why does that bother you so badly? But it does. And that's not the only people they hate. And if there weren't those target groups right now to hate, they'll come up with some other people to hate. They hate everybody. But right now they trying to genocide these Christians up here. Yeah, the mass media is not going to talk about any of the things I do. They won't cover it. No. That skyline's out of this world. Beautiful up there. I went for a walk up there a couple months back. Just so beautiful in those woods, and they still have a nice trail going back there. Listen, I really should have gotten into my official uniform to do this, but I had to come up here on business this morning in my truck, which got the engine light on, and I thought it might just be a good time to get some practice in and have a look at some of the things in what is now my hometown. By the time I get moved in here, I hope there's still a human presence. There's a lot of people in the flyover zone. They're vanishing between fentanyl and opiates and all the other fifth generation war being waged against them. Yeah, like I say, I don't know if I'm going to be the last one standing when this is over. It's not as good as it sounds. It's a horrible fate to just be an observer and to be there to the bitter end with nobody. I reckon it's overrated, that Omega Man crap. I'm not happy thinking about it. Life is too precious a gift to take yours. Never, never contemplate that. It's too precious. Even when it's miserable, you should fight for it. God's made a present of it to you. Show that you appreciate it. And I reckon you can't screw up. But sometimes the badness is something to be endured. I've done a lot of that. I wish I was suited up and it was a bit cooler. I'd show you so much more, and I will in the next version of this travelogue coming online probably within a week. This is the other side of the tracks. As recently as 30 years ago, trains ran through here non-stop, day and night, carrying coal and a lot of other industrial equipment. This was City Hall. You can see now it's used for storage. The windows are all knocked out. That's where they used to meet to govern the city. Apparently, a lot of that area over on the other side, that was all active businesses. And up until the Clintons and Obama and Biden got in, these people were still holding their own. You know, there was still business down here despite their constant war on it and trying to shut it down. Yeah, they still had business here anyway. But when Biden went full bore and started canceling the coal leases nationwide, it was an Achilles heel, a weak point in the American system where the government could, if they desired, simply shut down all these businesses that have grown up over the past 100 years. I remember when my father and I came down here for some hunting, there were trains coming through here on a regular basis. Used to watch them. My father and I were sitting in a blind when I was about, I think it was, I don't know, 10 years old. And he said to me, I want you to promise me when you get older, I want you to come up here to live. I didn't know why. I asked him why. He wouldn't tell me why. He said, it'll be safer than in the cities. He said, promise me you'll come up here to live. So after I died twice this year and still seem to be sticking around, I thought, okay, I'm going to do what my dad asked. Honor your parents. Honor your parents. It's a very important commandment in Scripture. I made my father a promise that I would, and here I am. But there's nobody left, and I'm always kind of worried I'm going to end up the Omega Man here. I'm going to be the only person left when it's over. It doesn't look good, and most of the mandatory maintenance that I've seen is probably driven by the state. Local government, I doubt, has the money for it. There's still people here with a bit of hope since Trump announced his new coal programs, initiatives to get the trains running again. But I don't know if it's too late, too little for Appalachia, which was one of America's most beautiful cities, one of America's most wealthiest cities, and certainly representative of them during their heyday when the future was very bright. The profits flowed easily, and the government actually assisted people instead of trying to destroy them. very different days from now. And this is increasingly the ruins of what's left of that. And yeah, if you're wondering, I'm glad I came here. Yeah, if a man takes an oath to his father, he should keep it. Here I am. I keep expecting some miracle or vision, but I don't get it. So I just got this impression to document it all. This is it. It's a 3-level building. It's got floors all the way up 3 stories. You can see you can enter into any of them. There's a lot of apartments inside it. They're going to try to fix it up. I think momentum's been lost. Originally, it was moving forward pretty quickly, but it looks like so many things here in Appalachia, the owners may be in the process of abandoning it. I don't know if the work's ever going to get done. I'm here on Main Street, and I've seen a lot of people doing, look, there's yard work here. They're mowing the grass again. That's good. Some people think the region could come back with the initiatives announced by Donald Trump. I'll believe it when I see it. You can see so many storefronts here have closed up now, including the restaurant that I walked down here to eat at. I thought I was going to have a morning coffee and an egg sandwich. It looks like they're closed up there. So in terms of what is open, I think the Brown Bear, a place where they serve barbecue down there, might be open, but a lot of the businesses since the last 3 months, while I've been living further down the road, working on my land up here, I've noticed the buildings have shut up. Their windows are either taped up or papered up, and that's never a good sign, and that's just in 3 months. Here's a town heritage site. This was a very, very wealthy city about 80 years ago. Of course, with the attack on coal and the coal leases, they never stood a chance. I was intending to come down here and do a much bigger travelogue on it, but I've got to be in my official Vaultco uniform to do that. I should have put it on before I came down today. I just thought it might be good to put up a little teaser segment now, and you can see this is going to be my home no matter what, but it looks like by the time I get moved in up on the mountain there, it's going to be a ghost town, the way things are going. I hope not. I think I'm going to try over at the Brown Bear and see if I can get a cup of coffee over there. I appreciate you joining me just for a couple minutes just to see my home, my newly adopted home. I like to think maybe someday it could come back, but it increasingly looks like that would take a miracle. Texas out. This is another retail business. They were open the last time I was here. Well, they were open doing something. They might have been either cleaning it out or maybe renovating it, but it definitely looks closed up now. Definitely looks closed up now. Yeah. About 10 years ago, this and the business across the street, they did a pretty good business all day long. You can see, I think they're down to about 1,500 people here. Most of them, elderly, and most of them would have gotten the vaccine. So population could be 1 here, the way things are going in the near future. That's assuming I make it for any length of time. I'm getting better since my stroke. My diction, pronunciation's improved a lot. When I initially had my stroke, I couldn't speak and I couldn't walk, so I've come a long ways. I think I'm doing pretty good. You can see here on quite a few of the buildings, the brick facade has fallen off and nobody's ever repaired it. It's just fallen off. That's probably 40 years old and it's been laying there for 40 years. So that's never a good sign when you can't even repair public infrastructure like that. This was formerly a retail store. It's closed up. I think they were selling classic albums there for a while. Looks like somebody boarded up Maybe thought it'd come back when times got better. They never did. There's the brown bear over there. I'm going to go in there and see if I can get a coffee. Kind of glum this morning. I don't know why, but it depressed me to come down here and see how many places were closed up just in a short period of 3 months. I'm going to be coming down here more regular, I think, in the future.